Kevin.
I know.
Okay,
It's been a long
finally
time
we're
coming.
live.
It's been a
Oh
long
my
time coming.
goodness. Like, we were supposed to go live, God, Kevin, 20 minutes ago or so now.
Yeah.
And I had to delay it by just like a few minutes, just
I wonder
because
why. It's definitely
my
not
web,
because of anything.
because my webcam I usually use for these, like the piece of it's just like missing.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
so I don't know where it is. So I'm just using my regular, just like MacBook camera right now.
Oh,
Which is fine. I guess like
this
we'll
looks
figure it
good.
out. It's not time. I hope so at least.
Yeah.
And I, all of a sudden I get a message. I would like to shout out somebody that I know named Daria
Yes.
who messaged me saying turn on the Grammys. And I said to her, I'm like, okay. And I did, and I was like,
Mm.
I was like, what the heck? Like, obviously, like, we want to talk about the album a lot still,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, this is, I don't know what exactly happened because
Yeah.
my mom, because part of why it got delayed is my mom came down to my bedroom, and it like, that's a great question, because also
No,
hello to everybody.
we're getting right into it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're getting right
we'll
into
talk
that.
about the album, I guess, hopefully later. My mom came down the stairs. It was like Violet, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?" And she was saying that like, they were talking about like the Weekend and what happened like in 2020 or something like that. And then like he just started performing like "Cry for Me," and then Playboy Cardi came on. They did "Timeless," and so I did see the Timeless ones. I only saw like a clip on Twitter of "Cry for Me," but like, what the heck just
Yeah.
happened? What just happened?
No, literally.
I literally was just talking to my supervisor at one of my jobs today about like the Grammys and stuff like that, and just like how just like unfortunate I think it is that like what happened, with Abel, because we were
Mm.
talking about Beyonce and how she's just she should have won even more Grammys than she has, and I was talking,
Oh,
with
yeah.
Abel and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
And so like I just like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Anything you want? I'm gonna go on Twitter to see if I can find like anything
Oh,
specifically
so
out right now.
I'm sharing our thing on the Twitters and the skies that are blue.
On the skies that are blue. Skies do
Skies
be
that are
blue.
blue. Yes.
So yeah.
Love the
So
cross promotion.
yeah.
Also,
So
hi Janaea. Janaea is one of my subscribers, so hello. And
very
also,
cool.
Josh, it's coming. It's coming. All right, I'm in the process of it. It's coming very soon.
Crazy. So oh yeah. So okay. So the CEO of the Grammys
Okay.
came out and like publicly like basically apologized and like said that they made amends with Abel.
Oh, wow.
And like, yeah, alrighty.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's
That
crazy.
settles it.
I mean, listen, like I'm all for people like making amends on
Oh,
things
absolutely.
if they feel that it's like like reputable enough, and that it's like in their best interest for all the
Yeah.
parties involved. So I mean, okay. I mean personally, for me, like I will always still like not really be into award shows as much anymore because of what happened with After Hours. I'm forever gonna be that way. And then
Yeah.
especially,
Same.
as we talked about what the Oscars, like I just don't really care about that much anymore. But
Especially
still, it
now,
is
like what
cool
the
to
fuck?
see.
That's a whole different can of worms. Like Jesus Christ.
Don't even get me started on it. Don't even get me started on it.
That's like a whole other
But
stream.
yeah, no, but like still, it's good to see. I guess, yeah, it's good. I just don't. It just happens so quickly. I haven't had any time to really like
Yeah.
process it at all.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say before we get into the album?
Okay, so here's the thing. I have seen probably like 15 to 20 seconds of him doing Cry for
It's
Me, and
crazy.
then literally you told me to turn on Paramount Plus. I turn it right as he's ending Timeless. But what I will say, and I said this before we went live, this concert is about to be fucking insane. Like just the levels of production,
Yeah.
the elaborate sets, the like cult sort of. I mean, he had that in After Hours Till Dawn, but it seems like he's like really doubling down on that here with like all the different like cult members and things like that, and the fog machines going crazy and like the blue lighting.
Yeah.
Like I am so into it. I am so excited to see what he is going to do on this tour, because I feel like it's going to be absolutely monumental and something that we're not even prepared for. And I think this performance just further showcased that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I completely agree. Um, and so, yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like so. I need to watch the full clip because I don't know. I mean, like it's good to see. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Like regardless of the fact that like I still just awards, I'm just not like
Yeah.
it's whatever to me nowadays, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like it's great to see like um you know like Chappell Roan win like best new artist, and like also I gotta say quickly, the clip that's going viral of her talking about trans women, like best thing I've ever seen in my life. Shout to her. But like I don't know. I mean, I just don't really care about awards, but I think it's really good to see. So
Yes.
yeah, so
Oh my God, look who's watching. Hello.
oh my gosh. All
Someone
right.
we'll be
So I
seeing the
think
concert with.
yes, yeah. So alrighty. So we're gonna leave the Grammys conversation there for now.
Yes.
We're gonna leave it there for now. If we get more
Yeah.
comments about it, we'll talk about it. But we do have a lot to talk about. So shout to Gojira, shout to Gojira. But we do
What do you
have
mean?
a quite
It's a very short album. It's only like 5 songs. There's not much to discuss.
there's a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna be on here for around like we're gonna be on here for like 2 hours or so. And so let's get into it because we don't want to ramble anymore. So Kevin, thank you for
Yes.
joining, and thank you everyone who's watching us live or watching this after the fact. We really appreciate it. All right, so Kevin Falk,
And for those
my
watching on my
dear
channel
yeah,
as well, thank you. I do
that is
see
true. That
you.
is true. That is true. That is true. Alrighty, Kevin,
Yes.
where do we begin? Where do we begin? I'm gonna let you
Honestly.
take. I'm gonna let you start.
Look, I mean, I think that there was a reasonably high expectation when it came to this album. I think that Abel's just really been killing it, but this phase in particular has been so interesting to watch. This trilogy of albums that he's done. You start with After Hours, and you see him really just like self-reflecting and diving into these themes of like self-hatred and loathing and all this different stuff, and him kind of regretting a lot of his past mistakes, and then Dawn FM being this very like transcendent type experience where he's kind of in this like purgatorial state of sorts, and he's trying to like contemplate whether or not he deserves to even go to the afterlife and how that's all going to play out. And so knowing all that he already flirted with those ideas, I expected Hurry Up Tomorrow to just be like the big grand finale. He's like saving the best for last. But I gotta say, even with the album out, I don't even think I was prepared for just how fucking insane this album was really going to be. I mean, here's the thing. There's been artists that have had really great albums, but I can't think of many artists that have ended their discography at such a amazing and just satisfying way in the way that this was. I mean, this is literally just encompassing every single theme that he has introduced in his other films. Well, there's a film coming out, other albums. So he's talking about movies, other albums, and then wrapping it back around and just tying it in a bow perfectly, but also just expanding upon things that he hasn't gotten to do before. And look, I know I said the word movie, but like the word is cinematic. Like generally this feels like a cinematic experience with the transitions, the different genres that he's like flirting with. I mean, there's a lot of different sounds that he's bringing to the table. One song in particular that I've really been digging that I'll talk about that does a lot of like experimentation and things like that. You can see that he there's a lot of things that he's clearly been shaken about, and he's, very honest about doing so, and really just diving into those themes quite heavily. And again, it's one of those albums where you feel like at this point, you have seen all you need to see from Abel, and it's like, oh no, there's so much more that he is capable of doing. And this album just really further showcase that. I feel like he just really went all out in being like, all right, what are some things I haven't done before? Let's just put that all together and make it this like really grand, really epic finale. And that's exactly what this ended up being. I mean, it's a range of emotions. It's very depressing at points, but I think it ends in like a very bittersweet, very satisfying manner. And just in general, I mean, it's one of those albums where like I've been listening to it since we first listened on Friday. Friday, and I just really can't get enough of it. I mean, almost every single song is like legitimately perfect. There's so much of this album that just continues to resonate with me. There's so many themes to like pick up from it. It's really just everything I could have hoped for. And like, I'm not sure right now where it ranks in his discography. This shirt that I'm wearing has been my favorite album of his for a while. But I do think if there's an album that could surpass it, it honestly might be this one, just because of just how monumental and special of an experience that this really was. I mean, this just feels so singular from his other work. And again, I can't think of a better way to really just go all out and give us that like big grand finale that we knew he was capable of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with literally every single thing that you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't honestly like
Yeah,
I
only
think
5 songs.
especially
Only 5.
I feel like especially after this album, which I know was like a last weekend album, because I was like trying like a little bit just because like like I think it's fun sometimes to kind of like compare a little bit and contrast like albums
Oh
like
yeah.
that. I can't rank his discography. I can't.
Yeah.
I literally can't. I can't even rank this trilogy. Like I can't even rank
Yeah.
the original trilogy. So it's like
I can
this
probably rank
is
this trilogy, but his discography, that's definitely tough.
it's really really tough. I feel like in a lot of ways like like just specific on this trilogy, like he's just been elevating and elevating and like
Yeah.
and just like pushing himself to places that he hasn't gone before. I mean, I'm with you. I've heard the album now probably another like 3 times or so.
Mhm.
Just because I've been a bit busy this weekend, but I gotta say, like just like the emotional impact of this and just
Yeah.
like the feeling that this album gives me is like it's unlike most pieces of art that like I'll probably ever like really like experience fully.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't like like bawl my eyes out to this album like I did for like when I did like Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain recently and stuff like that. But like
Oh yeah.
the emotional impact like of it is like like up there with like the ones that albums impacted me the most, like A Preacher's Daughter, and stuff like that. And like it just like the feeling that like I have right now, because like I've gone through like this journey, I became a fan of The Weeknd in 2015. Bradford Behind the Madness came up basically, and just now just because I was like, I was God, how old was I, Kevin? I was 12 years old, I think, back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally, like,
I was 12 years old. Yeah, and I'm 21 now. And
throwback
the
to
fact is,
you eating yogurt while listening to In the Night.
oh my goodness, yes, that's a memory. Yes.
Ugh.
And such and just I don't know. It's just like I don't know, there's just like it's just like there's a lot to like process with it, but like storytelling wise on this,
Mhm.
like it's one of his just most like captivating and riveting and also just
Oh yeah.
like definitely just like saddening and I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
there's a lot of words you can use to
Especially the
like
middle
describe
section.
it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so yeah. So I mean, those are just some kind of basic thoughts as to where I currently am thinking about the album. But Kevin, do you want to start anywhere else? If like any specific, I mean, we're probably gonna go in order track list wise. But is there anything else you want to say before we get into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only other thing I'll really say is that I think that this album just further kind of cements that like there just aren't many artists like The Weeknd out there these days. Like truthfully there isn't. Like there's some great albums out there, don't get me wrong, but like we rarely get to see something quite like this where it is this like odyssey of sorts, and it feels like you can go through
Yeah.
each one of his albums and there's a legitimate story there, and it feels kind of it almost feels like seasons of a TV show almost, where it's like here are the themes in this one and now we're going to expand upon it in this and now we're going to expand upon it here. Then you get to after the first trilogy, you go to Be Behind the Madness, and we're trying to expand upon just a little bit
Don't
more.
forget about Kissland, Kevin.
You go to Kissland, you're expanding upon that a little bit more. Then you go to Starboy, and it's like there's some other ideas there. And then you go to this trilogy, and it's like this feels kind of like a final season almost, where it's like, all right, here are all the things that we've done. Let's amplify that to the 10th degree possible and just make something that like generally is going to emotionally impact you in a way that like you wouldn't ever expect it to, but also just again elevate our sound, elevate the production, elevate the technique in a way that we just haven't really seen before. And I think that this album just again really it just encompasses all of that. It's something that we really just need to kind of appreciate while it's here, because I don't think we're going to see many albums quite like this. Definitely not this year, but like for a long fucking time. This just feels like so rare and like such a gift, and I think that's why it sticks out as much as it does.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with everything that you're saying. I don't know. I just think like The Weeknd has always had such like a perspective and vision with his art that has really resonated with me more than like any other artist, of course. But like really with this era specifically, I mean, of course, like a lot of the themes that it's dealing with, like I find the most relatable out of any of his projects yet, of course.
Yes.
To we'll give it that, of course. And so like naturally there's a lot that I can connect to, but maybe like a tiny bit more like easier. But like I just like well like it's just remarkable, and I think that it's just inspiring seeing him still like push himself to new places, especially like emotionally, because like the thing I really also really I mean, this is a thing that I really started to feel around when like the title track for After Hours came out as like a single is like I
Yeah.
feel like especially really like we had the beginnings of it on My Dear Melancholy, but like really on this trilogy, just seeing him like bring himself to like a place artistically that's even more like vulnerable
Yes.
and it has even more like nuances and like complexities to it is deeply inspiring, and I don't know, I really am just like excited, that that like we're here and like it's wrapping up and like and yeah, no, it's been quite the journey. It's been quite the 5 years, and so yeah. So do you want to get into the tracks now, Kevin, or
Yeah,
anywhere you
because
want
I
to
mean,
specifically begin?
yeah, I mean, I think that we got it. We pretty much have to go in order. There's really no other way to go about
Yeah,
this
I think we
album
have
without
to.
just
Yeah.
kind of
So you
going in
I'll,
order
I'll let you
here.
speak first. I'll let you speak first.
Yeah,
Wake me
because
up.
I mean, look,
Yes, with justice.
you know how
Hmm.
I feel about this one. When he released that teaser and we first
Yeah.
heard like the first like minute or so of this song, I was like, holy shit, this is insane. This is going to be one of my favorite songs that he's ever done. Give me this fucking thing
Hmm.
now. I need to know what this song is. I know we're getting a little snippet here, but like this just feels so much more personal and deep and just it's the best word to describe it is a sense of finality. And, you want to make sure that
Hmm.
your final album, or any piece of like a finale, whether it be like a movie, like a TV show, you want to make sure the beginning, I think, especially, is so crucial in solidifying that, like, this truly is the end. This is how we're going to start it off. This is, everything that we've been leading up to. And I really don't think there is a better way to do that than Wake Me Up Here, which, dare I say, I think might be his best opening track he's ever done. I mean, I can't get
Hmm.
enough of this song. I love the way it builds, starting off as like this very ominous and dark song about how he's really just like kind of contemplating what his mortality is all about, whether or not there even is an afterlife out there, him kind of unsure how to feel about that, and then turning into this big like Michael Jackson-esque showstopper. I mean, this is how you kick off an album. I absolutely adore this song. I also love the feature from who's the artist that worked with him on this that
It
everyone. Oh,
it's the group Justice.
that's what it is, Justice. Their background music they provide is incredible.
Hmm.
I think it just fits perfectly into the song. I love the electronic type vibe. I love, like I said, just how much it builds. I especially really like I especially really like the as we get towards the end and there's that really cool instrumentation on things like that. Again, I just think if you're going to kick off a
Hmm.
final album, this is just the perfect way to do it. This is one of the songs I have listened to the most so far. I often just find
Hmm.
myself consistently going back to it. I just think this
Hmm.
might just end up being like one of my favorite songs that he's done. And like I said, I think he's made some really great opening tracks, but this might be my favorite of his to date, just because
Hmm.
it's just such a incredible way to kick off the album and just really does a great job of showing you like this is going to be something transcendent. This is going to be something unlike anything I've ever done. We are reaching our apex here, and you don't even realize the wild ride that you're in for. And buckle up because it's going to be an insane one.
Yeah, to piggyback after last point, like the places that we go on this album after this track, I wasn't fully
Yes.
expecting.
Oh no.
Like because I was definitely worried. Like I was worried that like with after like the Sao Paulo concert and
Yeah.
just like as just seeing the Open Hearts video, the Apple Vision Pro, like I was like, man, like how many like surprises are we really gonna get on this project because the direction was becoming so like clear
Hmm.
in terms of where we're heading like conceptually. And I always kind of like to leave a little bit of like that ambiguity to where we're going to like the actual finished project,
Yeah.
admittedly. But like I am so glad that I was proven wrong. Like because
Oh
like the
yeah.
places that we go to after this are some of the most monumental moments in Abel's entire discography and
Yeah.
career as The Weeknd. Quickly just to give some shout outs, shout out to Wake Me Up
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and all good. And all good. Take your time totally. So
the one
say
thing
what was
I
that,
did
Kevin?
want to say,
Mhm.
that I know you said in your video is the version of this of "Wake Me Up" that we get here is like distinctly different from what we heard at the concert. It feels so much more alive and full, and I
Yes.
fucking loved it.
So I'm assuming other people have mentioned it. But like the vocals are mixed like basically like straight up like clean.
Yeah. Oh
There's
yeah.
there it doesn't sound like there's really like any like reverb on it or any
No.
touches of like echo or any just any like touching up at all. Like and it's really like it definitely like at first when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is definitely just different. Like it's
Yeah.
different. But
Oh
like
yeah.
it's really like I love it now. I really quite like I will say I definitely like the live version more still, like I do admittedly. But like
Mhm.
I definitely really like the studio version. Because like I said in my reaction video also, it reminds me so much like in a way it's not quite as like intense. It just is like like oh my god, of course. But like gasoline, on Dawn
Yeah.
FM with the down the octave vocals and like the pitching down
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about
I
that.
that I will never forget that moment. I immediately fell in love and was like, "This is one of the best things he's ever done." Quickly, tomorrow I'll be doing a reaction to those songs. I just purchased that digital deluxe version in the Hurry Up Tomorrow Club, like probably like 2 or so hours ago. So
Oh
now,
yeah. I need to listen to
um,
those.
uh, yeah, no, and so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I also have the physical copies of the first pressing version arriving, a lot of them tomorrow, but I don't know yet if I'm gonna keep all of them. Just because I don't really know how much I'm gonna play that first pressing edition. I know those are on it too, but regardless, tomorrow I will be doing a reaction to those two songs, especially Runaway because I've been really wanting to hear a version of that. And so yeah, no, so shout out to that. So yeah, so hopefully I'll probably get that up probably by like the evening or so tomorrow.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so maybe he came back to the Grammys to rebrand himself as who make music and
Yeah.
able to test or not. Yeah, no, honestly, that's a really good way of looking at it. Just like kind of like
Yeah.
healing and just like making like peace with that part of like the weekend and like feeling fully able to like like move on and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And like Abel talks about it on this album. At one point he talks about like like his father, but I'm assuming for things really just in general in his life that have like attention to them or like a certain like sensitivity to them or just a certain just like negative feeling that like wanting to like maybe make like an amend or like reach out and so I with the Grammys I'm assuming it kind of seems like from the wording of it that the Grammys reached out to him first
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but it's good. It's good. It's good to heal and get closure on a lot of things, because like one of the things about like life and stuff like that like I accepted like really hard like you're on like 2 or so years ago now is like a lot of things in life you're just never going to get closure on, like
Oh
things
yeah.
like a lot of things will just remain a mystery to you. You're never gonna get all the answers fully. It sucks, like, but like it's just a part of life. But like there are a lot of things that like people I feel like deserve that kind of closure and peace on. And so I know, with this, it was a very monumental moment in the Weeknd's career, when all the Grammys stuff went down in November 2020. And so, it's good to see. It's good to see. And so, yeah. So, yeah, no, with Wake Me Up, like where we begin with Wake Me Up, like I said in my action video, but just like that, like it beginning with like all I have is my legacy, I'm losing my memory,
Oh,
like
amazing.
it's so, and talking about how I'm alone when it fades to black. It just like it so perfectly like begins the album. Like all I have is like my legacy, like my past and like like the choices I have made and like the
Mhm.
artistry stuff I've made and just like me as like a man and like a human. And but like I'm losing like my memory, like my touch of like the nuances that have brought me to like this place from like my childhood, moments of my past and like love life and stuff like that. I'm imagining in terms of like the big like things that Abel focuses on in this album in terms of like healing and like recovering from. And I just feel like the way that it just keeps like going as like a song or anything is so just like brilliant. But then when we get like that chorus, like like that wake me up and like that desperation and just like wanting to just like be able to like begin again
Yeah.
and find like a light and path out of this like purgatory type setting, when we think about how the Divine Comedy influence comes into play. I think it's just absolutely brilliant. I think it's
Yeah.
brilliant. And the thing too is like that fade to black like intro, the way it transitions to like the main like wake me up portion is so good. And also the way that the drums are mixed on it, like the way that like Mike Dean like mastered them and stuff like that, like they're so like punchy and in your face. And personally, I really like that. And so yeah, so it just sounds amazing. I love the songwriting on it. And so yeah, I'm not gonna get into like as crazy depth as I did in my reaction because I want to let Kevin speak a little bit more. But I just love the song. And it was just so nice to just like finally be able to like hear it fully. Because
Yes.
I kept away from that leak for so long.
Oh yeah.
It's a massive reason I no longer really go into the Weekend subreddit, honestly. And so like I've been really trying to keep away from it. So it's just like really nice that like I just like am finally able to like fully like experience it. And so yeah, so question for me. Our features on the album. We got Justice, Travis Scott, Florence Was Machine, we got Cherry 22, Playboy Cardi, Future Lana Del Rey, or Giorgio Moroder. That is an excellent question. Kevin, do you want
Question
to
I
answer
didn't
this too?
expect. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about this. What do you have before I say?
Yeah, I mean, I there were some that like I definitely kind of thought like, okay, Travis Scott could very well happen. That was definitely something I thought. He was at Sao Paulo and things like that. Like I had a feeling that could be the case. Future was one that the way he was implemented, not at all how I would have expected. Like the way he did it,
Mm-hmm.
I was very shocked how that went down. Lana Del Rey should have been one I expected, should have been, but just for some reason it wasn't. For whatever reason, I just thought I don't know if we're gonna get Lana Del Rey. And then when she's on that song, it was like, oh my god, this is incredible. But Florence plus the Machine was the big one for me. I was like, holy fuck, this is insane. I can't believe he's actually working with them. But it, again, just worked so seamlessly. And we'll get to that song, but the way that song builds just through the different artists that he's working with, just brilliant. So much of what works about this album is, again, just the risks he ends up taking. And I think the features are a really good example of that. Unfortunately, no Billie Eilish. I know that was a rumor, but I'm very happy with the features we got.
That would have made me transcended.
Oh, literally.
I would have
When
transcended.
they say music that makes you levitate, that's what they're talking about
You
right
have
there.
no idea. You have no idea. Oh my
She would have literally
goodness.
gone right through the roof. I don't know if we would have been able to film the whole thing. That's how big the reaction would have been.
Oh my goodness. I
It would
will
have been
say
like
my favorite.
First Reformed. Ever seen that movie? It would have been just like that scene.
Oh my god! Literally. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a lot. That's such a
Oh,
good movie.
so
I gotta
good,
rewatch
so
that.
good.
That's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Um, uh, for me, I think Lana Del Rey is my favorite feature.
Mhm.
I think she's my favorite feature. I think Lana Del Rey is my favorite person that he's probably collaborated with, honestly, as The Weeknd.
Yeah, I
I
would
was
agree. I would agree.
I I would say I love a lot of the stuff that he's done with Mike Dean recently also. A lot of stuff he did with Cashmere Cat is so insanely underrated. Like
Yeah.
Wild Love is my favorite feature he ever did. And his contributions to Starboy were excellent in my opinion. And so
Mhm.
like I love a lot of that stuff, but like I just feel like the stuff he's done with Lana Del Rey, there's just a certain like emotion to it
Yeah.
and a certain just like I don't know, just like there's just like a feeling that those ones give me, like Lust for Life and like Prisoner.
Oh my
Like I don't
god.
know, I just think they're so incredible, and this is
Right.
one of
We're right here.
yeah, that's an incredible song.
Oh my
And so I
god.
know I think
Not enough
I
people talk about that
think
song. Not enough people talk about that song.
yeah, I agree, and I don't know, I think Lana Del Rey is probably my favorite feature on the
Yeah.
whole project. If I had to give you a second one, I'll give you a second one also. That one. So I really like that Cherry 22 feature with the phone call.
Yeah.
I will say, maybe that.
Oh, Cherry
Uh,
22 was the phone call?
yeah,
Oh,
no.
okay.
So, I would probably
Who
go.
was the feature in Giving Up on Me? Do we know?
That's Future just coming in again on the
Oh,
vocals
okay.
later, right? Um, I would probably go. Oh, no, probably Travis Scott, probably. Yeah, that's probably what I would probably go with.
No,
But
I meant
I
when
will
it
say,
shifted and like the woman starts singing. Do we know who that was?
it's just a sample. It's just a
Oh,
sample.
okay, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And so yeah, so I will say only ever comment with the feature thing is that for the Georgia Marauder, section on Big Sleep. I feel so stupid because I am familiar with Giorgio Moroder's like music, like
Yeah.
solo music he made in like the 80s and stuff like that. And so I know how he sounds using vocoder. And I feel really dumb, like not picking up on that in the moment. But admittedly, I was exhausted at that point. I was really pushing myself with that one, in that reaction.
Yeah.
And so that's never going to. So I'll say that. And so comment again about how you felt the Grammys thing. Personally, like for just to say it again, like personally for me, I just don't really care that much about award shows anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't need like my favorite artists like winning like an award for something to make me feel like validated as like a fan anymore, because I definitely used to be that way. Like I will fully admit that. But at the same
Also,
time,
all over
like
the
I think it's
Oscars.
yeah, but at the same time, like it's nice to see like people get like a certain like validation and like a certain sort of like recognition from like the industry and stuff like that. And I know that like obviously I think it's very very complicated, and I think the Grammys have shown for worse and better that
Yeah.
their influence in the industry, in the politics of the music industry,
Oh yeah.
is negative a lot of the time. But at the same time, like I think that it's good that like it clearly was a very big, and it was a massive moment in the weekend story. Like it just was. And
Oh
and
yeah.
and so I think that like him, making, like a piece of it and making like amends, with like the Recording Academy and like the CEO reaching out, and like I think it's good. I think it's for the best. And so that's kind of my take on it. I need to do a bit more, I guess, like research into in terms of what exactly the quotes that were said, because I only got to see like the Timeless performance mainly.
Mm.
And so
I
yeah.
saw 2 seconds of the Timeless performance.
Yeah, and so yeah,
Which was just
so and yeah, no, a crazy surprise, crazy surprise.
yeah.
Again, like I'm sorry we're starting a little bit late with this, just one more time, but like I like was like we were finally like really about to get going, and then I got a message from from somebody
No, it
that
kind of
she
worked
was like,
out. It kind of worked out.
yeah, that she's like Violet turned the Grammys on. Then my mom was like Violet, and I was like, oh my god. And so yeah, album was great, love the weekend, the music was great. Yeah, no,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's great. And so yeah, that's one thing is I'm assuming this album is gonna be submitted for Grammys now. Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And so I mean, right now for albums that we have that are gonna that could get like nominated for best album. I mean, I'm assuming GNX by Kendrick will get nominated. I don't think Chromacopia will get nominated for best album just because, for whatever stupid reason, Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost were nominated for best album, even though they both won best rap album. Even though Igor is not a rap album, but that's a whole different conversation for another day. And so yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're literally on only February 2nd, so we have,
Yeah.
we have quite a long way to go, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll
Somehow,
have to
even though
wait and see.
January felt like a year, but we're in February.
January always is like the longest month of the year. Like this
Yeah.
and like February are like the longest. Like once we hit spring, like
Yeah.
it just
Once
is like
March is,
boom.
it just yeah.
It just
Oh,
boom. March 20th, it just goes crazy.
oh yeah. And then
And
suddenly
so
it's
yeah.
December.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so for Red Terror, so we'll talk about that song definitely later on into the
Yes.
stream. I am really thank you to everybody who has been making me, aware of like the full context. And I have also seen some posts about it online. But definitely I really appreciate, because it definitely has made that's one of my favorite songs in the album, like easily now. I loved it when I first heard it, and I
It's so
definitely like
good.
also like picked up on like like the fact that he's talking from like his mother's point of view, but that specific aspect of it I did not fully realize in the title of the song. And so yeah, and so love it, great song, absolutely. And so yeah, all right, Kevin, the song that's been popping off right now, just performed it
Yes.
at the fucking Grammys.
Yes.
Cry for Me. What do you think, Kevin? What did you think?
Admittedly, this is one that I haven't listened to as much compared to the rest of the album, but it is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some great lyrics in here. I think again, just the themes this has of that, dread and things like that, and the sadness that's pervading this entire album. It just really sets that up well here. But it's a
Mm-hmm.
really good song. I don't have as much to say about it as some of the other ones, but it's definitely a really good one.
Yeah, I I cut out a little portion of my reaction video
Mm,
of of it, because like if you go to it, you see me being like, "Ah," and then like I just am standing up and like, "Yes, yes, all this stuff," you know. And like I cut out a portion where I start clapping my hands and going, "Yes, Abel, yes!" Because I was like, okay, that's a little intense violence. So I kept in like the
You don't
part
want to
that
do a
was like the
side by
safe.
side with that and you freaking out over the
No,
king
it
of the
was
fall.
because I was like right by my microphone, and so it
Oh,
would have been like really loud, and
a
like
little
I didn't
intense,
want to
a
like
little intense.
startle anybody who was watching it. But I
So let me
was
just
like,
recreate it real quick. You went, yes, yes.
yeah, but like it was like crazy. And so yeah, so I just right away I was like, this is like unbelievable. It is an incredible song. Absolutely incredible. And the thing about it also that I didn't pick up on until actually yesterday when I saw people talking about online is, we talk about stuff that, like, Escape from LA, like, Take It Back to LA, stuff like that.
Oh my
But one
god.
thing I didn't really fully think about is like Save Your Tears to Cry
Yes,
for Me.
yes,
You,
I
you
did
know,
see that.
that's something I never really thought about,
And that's another example of, again, just like introducing previous themes and like kind of wrapping them
Yeah.
up in this. It's like you're exploring an idea that you had, but you're doing it in a different way now because he's channeling much different emotions here.
Yes, absolutely. And
Now
just
it's
the
like, yes, I
production.
want
Yeah.
to explore my emotions. I don't want to just repress them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just like that, like the drums and like that percussion, like the Metro Booming adds, and just like the synth, like the little like do like, and the way that like
Yeah.
Abel like flows on that like I'm assuming Mike Dean did that stuff. Like it just like unbelievable, unbelievable. Just so good. And lyrically, I think it is one of his just most like brutally honest songs. And I think the
Yeah.
storytelling of it is like brilliant. Like talking about like this past lover of his, and describing like the feelings of like like longing and like this like comfort this
Mhm.
person always like gave to him, but now they're over him. And going to like the chorus, like, I hope you cry for me like I cry for you, and like like exploring like that whole concept of the song. But then talking about like some of the things that Abel has gone through, himself. And like these really like these moments that have brought him to this point of like trying to find this enlightenment like the most, and not having this person that was by his side the most like for that when he needed it like more than ever. And just like this like really just like claustrophobic and like and just like really just it's like a feeling like in you that just can't escape you like no matter what. I think it's just absolutely brilliant, and the song is it's just epic sounding. Also, Abel's vocals on this, the emotion he comes in,
Oh my
especially
god.
in that second chorus, were like, oh my goodness. And then like when he talks, like like over me, it ain't a fucking mystery. Like absolutely incredible. It
Yeah.
is easily one of my favorite songs on the album. I cannot wait to hear this one live. I cannot freaking wait. It's gonna go so crazy. Quickly, I know some people have been discussing in the live chat, just to add my um opinion on it. As a
Yes.
Texas story, the Her Tomorrow video, Santilli using left off, has me. I was like, okay, the way that I'm seeing it, and Dark Void, I think, has basically the same exact thoughts as I do on this from what I'm reading. But from what I'm thinking of, I think Dancing in the Flames, I mean, it's not on the album, of course, but like it still was like released in like the Hurry Up Tomorrow like era. So like it
Yeah.
is still like a Hurry Up Tomorrow like song, of course,
It's affiliated with
and,
it. It's
and
it's not.
it's on like the final product. I
Yeah.
mean, and I mean, like, I think that that makes sense, because you can go back. Like, I know this is like as crazy as a comparison as it gets, but like a band that was extremely famous for having singles that were not on the album was the Beatles. The
Yes.
Beatles had a very I know I don't know if people who are not like, I know obviously the Beatles are the most famous band ever, but for people who are
Ooh, the
not like fully,
Beatles.
yeah, I know for people who are not fully aware, the Beatles up until their last two albums had like the beginning ones had a little bit of there's other show, but like that middle portion of their albums, they had a very big thing where they didn't were singles, they didn't want to be on the album.
Yeah.
And they purposely released singles that were not going to be on the album, and so like it still counts as like the era kind of thing, but maybe it's just on like the final product and stuff like that. Personally, I still love Dancing in the Flames. I
Yeah.
really like that song a lot. That acoustic version I think is especially fantastic, and also the acapella version is incredible.
Yeah.
And so I think for the music videos, to get to your question with the story, like I think it starts with Dancing in the Flames. then it goes to Open Hearts, then it goes to the Open Hearts Jimmy Kimmel performance, then it goes to Red Terror. I think that is right now, like the story where we're following it. And then for the Sao Paulo and Timeless music videos, I think those are kind of just like
Standalones.
not connected to like the music video stories so much.
In the
But
Sao
like in
Paulo
the
one especially, how
context,
the fuck do you connect that?
yeah. But like with like in the actual album though, like how the songs are placed in the album, I think they make a lot of sense within the story of the album. So I say that's kind of what I would and say, and other people have said this in the chat also. And so do you have any opinions at all in the music videos at all
Yeah,
for
I
this?
mean, I,
Because
I
I'm
don't
because
have much to say
yeah,
about the videos themselves because admittedly I haven't
yeah,
watched the Red Terror video yet.
it's incredible.
Yeah, I've heard it's really
It's
good.
incredible.
But in terms of Dancing on the Flames, I mean, look, I really like the song a lot. I especially love the live version. Like, if I'm being honest, I've listened to that one more than the
That's a great
studio
version, yeah.
version. I think it just feels so much more grander and like this big spectacle. But if I'm being honest, I don't know if it fit. Like, I understand why he got rid of it. I don't know where you put it on this album. I don't know if it would really fit. I feel like it would ruin the flow if you put it on there.
It
So
probably would have fit really well after Drive.
I could have seen that. I could have seen
But
that.
some people are saying maybe after Give Me Mercy, but I don't know. I
Maybe.
I think it's fine off the album.
Yeah.
Like I still like the song. And so yes,
I think
I
it
mean
works
I'm
as like
with
this
you.
nice
So
like standalone, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I don't know, I think it honestly, like, I mean, this is something that like I personally am looking forward to like exploring, at some point in the future. But like I think like, with my own music, but like I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool for artists to kind of go back to like releasing singles for like an era that like aren't on the actual album.
Yeah.
I like because like I know that like nowadays it's very very like different when we come like album sales and streaming numbers stuff like that. I understand that. Like I don't know. I think it makes things interesting. I mean, there's a big conversation that I personally have been getting really really into when like I think about like music promotion and stuff like that, especially when we think about Billie Eilish and also Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
is like singles nowadays like obviously we've seen with like a Sabrina Carpenter, like, and I would even say like a Chaperone to an extent, but especially with Sabrina Carpenter, how powerful like the single is and stuff like that. Of course, like leading up to like an album like release. But like in all honesty, like I feel like we're moving towards a direction as like music fans and consumers of music, where I feel like albums, I feel like might be more successful moving forward without singles. Honestly, I
Yeah.
really have
Oh
honestly
yeah.
been beginning to feel that way. Like especially when you look like a Billie Eilish, and I think especially a Kendrick situation, like with GNX.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and 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 so I don't know. That's just like my personal
And
opinion, but like
I
also
think
the thing also to
also
yeah,
not to interrupt you, but like I think
yeah,
also the novelty of these singles, these weren't singles. They didn't peak early. We didn't hear these songs 5 months ago. We're hearing them all for the first time on this album. I think that's something that a lot of people are really gravitating towards. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I
yeah,
think that's definitely a direction to go in because very often I hear people say like, "Oh, I like this song, but like it's peaked too early. I don't want to hear it anymore." And I think again, not
hmm,
dropping a single before you put out the album. I think that's why something like a GNX has had the momentum that it has. That's why Hit Me Hard and Soft had this great momentum because all those songs aren't ones that were heard before, and they were able to really just like have their moments in a way that I think they wouldn't have been able to had you released all these singles beforehand.
yeah. I mean, with Him Be Hard and Soft, like Billy did do a lot of like snippets and stuff for
Yeah,
it. But like
yeah, I know
like
there
with
were some really
GNX,
like lunch and things like that.
yeah. But like with like GNX, it was like the Squabble Up like snippet in the beginning of the Not Like Us video, and that was basically it
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware. And so I don't know. I would be interested in seeing us go to like rollouts that are more
Mhm.
like that. And so yeah. Just to quickly go down to this, I think that's the reason it got taken off.
Yeah,
Also, I
yeah.
I think that's the me. I've seen a lot of people say it's because a lot of fans didn't like the song. I'm
I
gonna
don't
be
think
honest
that's
with
it.
everybody. Like I think if Abel still liked the song enough, like if the fire didn't happen, I think it would still be on the album.
Yeah,
But I think unfortunately when it is a small amount of people, I want to preface that, but when there's a small amount of people who are trying to make like Dancing in the Flames some sort of like song to like play around like Los Angeles right now, and the areas
Yeah,
that
that's
have been
weird.
like affected. Like, no, we're not. Don't do that. And so I think it's just for the best to just take it off, because the like it was a small amount of people again, like I said, but like the things I was seeing from a few people that were saying they wanted to like go into like the fires and like I don't know. I was like, what are we doing? And so yeah, so I agree with
This is
that.
not a movie. Like, stop. No, that's
Yeah, absolutely not. And so yeah. So shout out to Cry for Me. Last question. Will you be performing at the Grammys help boost sales specifically? Absolutely it will.
oh
It
yeah.
absolutely will. It probably will. And so yeah, yeah, no, shout out to the weekend. And then how would
Artists
you
who
both
we
rank the
briefly talked
trilogy?
about.
Yeah, how would you both rank
I mean, I can rank it right now. I mean, I would
go for it.
personally go Dawn FM, After Hours, and then this one. I think that out of the three, like this is just the most complete to me. This one feels like this is the one I'm going to go back to the most. I love After Hours, and like that was very close to one of my favorites. But here's the thing: After Hours has a couple songs I don't really see myself going back to all that often. Same with Dawn FM. Not the case with this album. So this one has to be number one
Which
for me.
which songs? Which songs?
There's just a couple. Like I don't really listen to like Faith a lot. I don't really listen to
Really?
not that often. No,
Okay, okay,
I don't listen too late. I don't listen too much.
okay.
There's a couple. It's not like they're bad songs or anything. I just don't go back to them that
No,
much.
I said the
Um,
surprise thing of Faith because I thought you loved that song.
oh, I do.
Okay.
It's just I listen to like In Your Eyes more. I listen to like After
Yeah.
Hours more. I listen to Blinding Lights more. I listen to like something like Save Your Tears more. I've listened to a lot, just other songs more than that one. Even
Yeah, that's
the
valid.
shout out to the Nothing Compares, the La La Land one. I listen to that one a lot.
Yeah.
And then with Dawn FM, I mean, I don't it's an album I've gone back to, but I feel like there's it's not an album I've listened to as frequently as some of his others. There's just some songs that like I haven't really listened to all that much since I've heard it, like something like a Starry Eyes, something like a Don't Break My Heart. Like I haven't really listened to those all that often. Hurry Up Tomorrow is the one I see myself going back to the most, and also just the way all the songs blend together so seamlessly, to the point where you kind of have to listen to the whole album in full. I think you just gotta put it at at number one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just don't really think I can give a ranking right now.
Yeah,
Like I don't really rank things too much like in my free time anymore. Like sometimes like I've tried to with Abel just
that's
because like
tough.
other people
That's
doing this
tough.
and it seems fun. It's really hard. Like I
Especially
was
when
talking
everything
about
is as good as his music. Like when you're at this
yeah.
level as an artist, it's really hard to rank the discography.
Yeah, like rank the trilogy. I don't even know how to rank his whole discography. Like
So, I don't know.
it's
I
that
definitely
impressive
gonna
of
do
one
that.
for me. Like
I know
I
it's in
don't
last place,
know.
but other than that, I don't know.
Kevin, you be quiet. You be quiet.
We're not gonna get into
But we're not gonna get into that.
it's my point. But anyway,
We're not gonna get to that going.
oh, what was that?
But I don't know. I think the thing too is if I was gonna rank them, I think it needs some time because like After Hours, like I haven't shied away from this at all. Like I really liked After Hours, but I didn't love it when it first came out for the first like year and a half of its life. And then I began transitioning and I was going through like the darkest depression of my entire life. And like I re-listened to that album and like it clicked for me in a way where like it made a lot more sense. And I talked about that a little bit in my video I made almost a year ago talking about After Hours on its 4-year anniversary. And so with this one, you never know when it could click in different ways for me, and so I think it needs more time. I'm gonna fully um Cloak of Fett. I mean, I will say, in terms of the album that I see myself going back to the most out of all three of them, like not like just because of like certain like individual songs, like not just like what I think is like my favorite album as a whole, it's gonna be Dawn FM. Like I will
Mhm.
say that right. I will say that right now. That period on Dawn FM from Gasoline, obviously the Dawn FM intro, of course, but like really from Gasoline to Here We Go Again is like I think like the peak of Abel in a lot of ways in terms of just as like a like an R&B and pop songwriter. And it just really resonates with me. And the album kind of doesn't impact me quite the same after that, to like as heavily. But like that's when I go back to the most. I would say. Um and so yeah, so let's see what else we got here. Let's end the song. Hurts more. Put the 5 second cross tune. Yes, so I need to do that still. I had seen some like videos about it. Because when I did the reaction, I was like, okay, I was okay. This definitely means something, like
Yeah, I
sound
didn't realize that
wise.
either at
I
first.
didn't realize it either. But it's definitely very very interesting.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't have
And again,
crossfade
it's like
enabled.
how many artists do
Yeah,
shit like that? Like that's so cool the way he like
it
perfectly
is cool.
positioned it to where if you know because people are always doing like oh the Spotify transition goes so hard for this song. He literally did it for you. You don't even need to do it. It's right there.
Yeah. Well, there is like a little bit of a like silence, so there would be a crossfade that's needed to make it be super seamless, I believe. I know Apple Music, I think, has a crossfade feature they added recently. I know on my
Okay.
MacBook at least I can do that, but I've never tried it out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so tomorrow's best album, that's totally valid. I can't comment on this. I'm too biased towards Abel. I'm too biased towards
I don't
Abel.
know about that. That's crazy.
I just can't because I'm too biased. I'm too
Yeah.
biased towards Abel. I feel like it's not a fair thing for me.
I
And
would
so,
really have to think about that. But if I had to
mhm.
pick an artist that is the Michael Jackson of this generation, I mean, yeah, this
Yeah, it's just I'm too biased and to say just because like off the wall in is like dude like crazy freaking album for example and so I'm just too biased to really
thriller,
say.
yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like it'd be unfair for me to say.
yeah.
It was for the English chat yeah, no, so that is an interesting thing that I've seen a lot of people point out, and definitely like in a way, I feel like that is definitely like a very very valid theory and an explanation. It will be interesting in a lot of ways to see where we go when we start with like the Abel Tasfaye stuff, where we begin like story wise, before we're ending here. And so yeah, I just want to make sure I get through all of these. Love this album. I feel like Don FM is his best work after us. Feels like his best Weekend album. Don FM feels like the truest evolution of him. That's totally a valid take. That's
Yeah, I mean,
totally a
especially
valid
the
take.
Jim Carrey of it all, the way he ties that in, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So then so sure I see this. And then okay, so sorry. For a second, sorry for echoes. It's funny because if you like had to make me rank Abel's projects, like that's maybe my top two by him. When I talk to people, like I was just talking to my friend Ashley a few days ago, and I was saying to her how Thursday is like probably my favorite project from like if I really really had to pick. But like sometimes it gets like echoes of silence, and so I'm like I don't know. I don't know. I will say my biggest Abel hot take. I don't say it too often because I obviously I understand that many people will disagree with me on this, and that is valid. That's cool. Like I think different opinions are awesome.
Oh yeah,
House of Balloons, I think, is the weakest in that trilogy. I think it's the weakest. And the crazy thing is I still think House of Balloons is like a near masterpiece. So
yeah,
like that's not really saying much, honestly. It's more so of like an insane like thing to say that like that's my least favorite. But in terms of which one I like more, First Like Silence, I don't really know. Because like Thursday was my first song, but Echoes of Silence, like resonates with me in a really deeper way nowadays. But Thursday, like that was like I grew up as my favorite weekend project, so I know it's kind of tough to compare. And so
I have
yeah,
no idea to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
I'm always jumping around on so many songs on that whole like trilogy. I have no idea.
yeah. So this is how I feel exactly.
Oh
I think
yeah,
if I
no, no.
really had to say, like obviously I like the weekend more, but like he's my favorite artist of all time. But like Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson, man. And so yeah, so let's keep it going, Kevin. I can't
Yes.
fucking sing.
Oh my god. I mean, look, I am you know me. When it comes to like transitions on albums, I don't usually have many thoughts. It's like, all right, that was a thing that exists. This is how you fucking do it. Like this is how you fucking
Yeah.
do a transition.
Mhm.
Like not only does this perfectly set up again the theme of like the themes of panic, the themes of dread that you have throughout the entire album, but it's also harkening back to one of the darkest moments in Abel's entire career as an artist. So we all know what this is symbolizing. We all know what this is all about. And to just see the profound impact that this has had on him and him, you know, speak about to the degree that he does on this album is honestly not something I was prepared for. I didn't think we were going to go as in depth as we really did, but it really just shows you how much this affected him as a person and what it really did to him. And I think that, you know, this just perfectly showcases that. I mean, we also talked about this this is probably going to be in the movie. Like, it just seems like
I very
from the
much,
movie. I didn't talk about this to Wake Me Up either, but like, that seems like that's how you begin the movie as well. I don't know if it is, but like, I hope that's the case because there's so much about this that I'm like, I'm really excited to see how that factors into the film. But again, we're going back to I Can't Fucking Sing. I mean, again, this is just how you do like a transition. And I think they did it, like he just did it phenomenally here, especially the way it seamlessly goes into Sao Paulo, which we'll talk about. I was very impressed by the way he did this, because when I saw the title I was like, what the hell is this gonna be? Is this gonna be like an actual song? Like, this was like the one title I was like the most excited about, and then when I heard what it was like, holy fuck, like that really hits you hard, especially again knowing the context of it and knowing that this is probably a voice memo that he did send to somebody. Really does hit you.
Yeah, no, and so I agree. I think it's a very like needed moment on the album
Yeah,
also. Of course it's incredibly brief, but like I think it's like a very needed moment. And
very
I think
brief
that
but very
it's
effective.
yeah, I think that it's just done just fantastic. And I love the production that's added to it.
Yeah.
And then we have Sao Paulo on the album. So I love this song, as we've, you know, discussed a few
Yes.
times. Yeah, we discussed it on a live stream, and I went into a bit of depth, you know, in my, you know, reaction, talking about how I feel it fits into the album really well, actually. But what do
I
you
would agree.
think?
No, I was, so my biggest thing going into this album, because we talked about this when we talked about Timeless and we talked about Sao Paulo, is like, how are you going to fit all these different styles, all these different types of songs that don't really seem like they have a cohesive flow? How are you going to fit that onto the album? And I feel like this is exactly how you do it. To me, this feels almost like a diversion. Like, this is kind of like something separate that's going on. He's not able to sing, so he brings this in, and this happens like in the middle of the concert. Like, that's kind of how I interpreted it, where it's like this is the concert continuing in his head that he can't perform. And I thought it worked. It worked really well in that way. Like, so much of this album is so like depressing and like hard to listen to. This kind of feels like that like needed palate cleanser. That's almost like him like distracting himself from all the painful shit that's going on. And I mean, I really like it a lot.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that it fits just so well within the project, especially when you go to like Cry for Me, or like, you know, he's talking about like you know, just like blocking out like the crowd noise, but now having these things that are like louder than like, you know, a crowd, like these like experiences of like, you
Yeah.
know, like this like woman and like getting like in like, you know, like becoming like attracted and like, you know, infatuated like with this like person
Oh
that,
yeah.
you know, like has a lot of these like, you know, like qualities you know about them that like I feel like really like, you know, like get, you know, have gotten to, you know, to like, you know, like you know, like, you know, able you know, some of like, you know, its darkest moments. I feel like the album really starts to like explore that there. And so yeah, I know, I think it's just fantastic, and I mean the production on it is also just incredible. So shout out to Sao Paulo.
Yes.
And so yeah, and then we have the unreal interlude, Until We're Skin and Bones.
Oh my god.
um what do you have? I mean, I have nothing else to really say besides I love like little like sound transition interlude type instrumental type stuff. If you're not on Time's album, we always love you by the Avalanches, and they do that a ton on that album. And so I thought it was really cool to see here Abel do that, but like it was like insane, like absolutely crazy. Do you have anything you want to say about that one?
I mean, this is before we get to like an insane streak of songs. Like, the next 6 songs we are talking about is like
Yeah.
an emotional roller coaster to like the highest fucking degree possible. And I feel like
Yeah.
starting it off with just a bunch of like just random noises is just like the perfect way to set it up. I don't have as much to say about I Can't Fucking Sing, but I thought this was, again, it's just a really cool transition. And listen, I'm a sucker when it comes to concept albums. And again, I just love the way this one like fully commits to it. Not to say Dawn FM didn't, But this one again, it's just doubling down onto that, and I think this is like another really great way to do that.
Yeah, I really love the title Until We're Skin and Bones also. Like
Yeah.
I think how
Oh
like
yeah.
it fits into this like commitment or just this like feeling of like inescapability
Yeah.
that you have. I don't know. I think it's very, very like poignant and powerful. But quickly before we get to Baptized in Fear, let me answer this comment. Which record of Chill do you think was the best produced to me? I think it's Hurry Up Tomorrow also, honestly.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's Don FM's production is so sleek and just like so like precise. And I think it's produced
It is
fantastically. But like I think also Dawn FM is his best sounding album,
yeah,
honestly. Like as much as I love like how this one sounds, I love what Mike Dean did. Dawn FM is his best mixed album, and
for
I
sure.
think it just sounds just incredible. I will say though, I think the best produced, I think I'm gonna have to go this one
Yeah.
because I think it pushes himself the most in terms of the production, and just like the mixing and the mastering and everything like that. And I don't know, I think that it just is the most just like I don't know. I just think like I just love the way that like like it sounds and the places it goes to sonically. Like on Given Up on Me, for example,
Oh
like
my
that's
god.
one where like the places we go to just like I don't know, like it just comes together so well. But also you have stuff like Open Hearts, for example. You have stuff like Drive. You have The Abyss with Lana Del Rey. Like I don't know. I just think it's just like incredible. Do you have an opinion on this at all?
Yeah, I think that in terms of the trilogy, I think yeah, Dawn FM is the one that is the most cohesive, especially like the radio transitions and things like that. I think that works really well. I think the poem from Jim Carrey at the end just like really wraps everything together. But Hurry Up Tomorrow, it just feels like this is the album that he's always wanted to make, but has never really gotten to. And I think in terms of best produced, like you gotta give it to this one, just especially with
Hmm.
just again how much he's going back to themes that he's covered before, but doing it in a much more like epic feel. And again, like Adam said, the
Yeah.
keyword is cinematic, and I think "Hurry Up Tomorrow" just perfectly fits that descriptor.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I will say this album is his best lyrics easily on an
Oh yeah,
album.
oh
Like
yeah,
I will say that. Like I will always resonate super deeply with the stuff like Beauty Behind the Madness, and stuff like that, and some of the stuff in After Hours definitely. But like this one lyrically is on a different level. It's his most meditative. It's his most like just like emotionally powerful. And I don't know. I just think that it's just fantastic.
yeah.
And so yeah, so if you're feeling this, I think this might be his best album. That's totally valid. Her Tomorrow Show has every side of his music. If this album's something good, so I completely agree. I feel like it has everything for everybody.
Oh yeah,
It's just album's best production. No, that's totally valid. That's totally valid. I think in terms of like production, like out of all of his projects, I
I would
I
agree
don't
with
know.
it.
Dawn FM is so up my alley, but like
Yeah.
Hurry Up Tomorrow is more like emotional to me,
Yes.
and like it reminds me a lot of like the music I listen to outside of the weekend, and it's just really nice to like hear him like make a project that like reminds you like sounds and styles that I've like really adored for so long in other artists' music. And so I definitely would have to think about it. I mean, the album's only been out for a few days, and so I would be interested to see how I feel like in a few months or years, down the road and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so now Kevin,
Yes. Here we go.
Baptized in Fear.
Oh my god.
fu-
Just in
a fucking masterpiece. Like I don't
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah,
yeah,
like I
like
said, I
yeah.
mean the next like 6 songs is absolutely unreal. Like every single
Yeah.
one of them, I'm probably going to say the same thing. But Baptized in Fear is just some of his best lyrics he's ever done. Especially the like voices will tell me that I should carry on. It just really starts to bring about this theme of just sadness that we've seen in his other albums, but this is on a whole other level. I mean, this is able just
Hmm.
kind of just this is the weekend like just fully just thinking about all his insecurities and just feeling so hopeless and vulnerable, and you really do see that here. It feels like he's just contemplating death and things like that, and you really do feel that throughout this song. I think that this is
Hmm.
just some of his best work he's ever done. Really love this song a lot. Honestly, gets better the more I think about it.
I agree. I genuinely like I was saying this to you for like a little bit and also from Final 599. Like Open
Yes.
Hearts. Like just go to Open Hearts for a second. Like I was like, this might be like his best song. Like I
Yeah.
I, I love Open Hearts so much.
That's so good.
Hearing Baptized in Fear and then Open Hearts combination, like,
Yes.
I don't know if this is, like, my favorite album from him. I don't know yet. Like, I don't know about any of that kind of stuff. Like, even if I ever will now. But I'm confident on this. Baptized in Fear and Open Hearts, like, that combination there is, like, the best thing he's honestly probably ever done. Like,
Yeah.
I really like, it is, like, it just, it's, I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it is, like, to me, it's, transcending what, I feel like Abel has, like, meant to me as, like, an artist. I genuinely mean it. Like, it's bringing me to, like, a place
Mhm.
that, like, I've never quite gone so deeply with him in that kind of, like, way before. And I don't know, and I mean, I find some of it also relatable, of course, like, on both tracks. But, like, as I talked about my reaction video, but it's just, I don't know, I just think it's just absolutely incredible. And the production also on Baptized in Fear, I believe it has Justice, 106 Point Never, Mike Dean. Like, it's just fantastic. And this is a great comparison. This is actually a very good comparison, because
Yeah, I can see that.
Bad has a very, like, distinct sound to it for Michael Jackson. And a lot of, like, that rawness and that edge and that just, like, grittiness that album has, like, I think you can stop, and, like, directness of it and, like, forwardness, I think you can apply to Hurry Up Tomorrow also. Well, Thriller, of course, had, like, the songwriting, like the poppy type
Yeah.
influences and
I
stuff
mean,
like
I
that.
immediately think of, like, Sacrifice when I think of, like, comparisons to Thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and so, yeah. So, of course, like, Wake Me Up is very Thriller inspired, but the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of the album very much feels, different. Kevin, like, I will just jump forward, like, a little bit, like, Open Hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I
look, this is a
I
song that
Yeah.
I only the interesting thing about this song is that, we heard it before because of the Apple Vision Pro thing, but, like, since then, I've not been able to hear this song, and I've just been dying to do so ever since that Apple Vision Pro, because I was like, lyrics are amazing, the production is just on another level, and it felt like this is the song that, like, fully got me to realize, like, okay, this is what the album is really going to be, because, we did that video, and we talked about how there's all these different singles. We don't know how it's all going to blend together. I feel like Open Hearts is the one where it's like, okay, I finally think I'm seeing the actual, like, vision here of what he's really trying to do.
Mhm.
And I think Open Hearts just brings it all together. Just so incredibly well. It's got this really great beat to it, but also just so many incredible lyrics. Him talking about how it's never easy falling in love again and things like that, and him kind of struggling to have these feelings. He doesn't want to have these feelings, but he does have these feelings, and he can't hide them anymore. And I think that again, it's just a really great song. The music video also is
Mhm.
easily some of his best work. I don't know
Yep.
how well it translates without the Apple Vision Pro, but the places he went to, absolutely insane. And I love every
Yeah.
second of
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. I like I will say this, like, this is my most definitive opinion, I feel, in terms of talking, like, comparisons. Open Hearts is my favorite song that he's ever made lyrically. Like, I really, honestly, really think so. Like, as much as I, like, Until I Bleed Out, like, After Hours, Tears in the Rain, like, Lonely Star, like, as much as I love songs like that, for example, Open Hearts just, like, it's impacted me lyrically in a way that, like, I haven't really quite felt on quite a level with Abel before. Like, I just feel it so deeply, and just, like, that part where he's like, "Cover my scars and open my arms, never easy falling in love again," is
it.
so, like, I don't know how to describe the feeling that part gives me, I just because I feel like that's just like how I've experienced love, like, in a nutshell, just being said by, like, an artist. Like, it's just, I don't know how to properly fully explain it. And then the production of it, I mean, Kevin, the production's very up my alley.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very up
Oh
my
yeah.
alley. Just like the Sims and, like, the way it's like they push and they run, and just, like, it's just incredible, and just, like, the little extra, like, like, layers they get added, and then, like, that beat drop and like the post chorus. It's just incredible. And so, yeah, so it's just absolutely incredible. And the music video for it is great. When I was going back to it a lot, I was going back to it being played at that Sydney concert, which I just love how that audio sounded with, like, the booming of it.
I have that.
Um,
Yeah, I need to watch that.
yeah, it's just incredible. I just absolutely just adore it.
Definitely one
And
of the
I
ones
just
I'm
think the
very
way,
excited to hear him do live.
oh, I can't fucking wait. Yeah, no, and I just think like the way that we go from like baptized in fear, where like we're talking about like such like a, I don't really know if it's like really like a like how to really word it, but just the most just like such like a just like trauma, and just like moment of just like realization, for Abel, and just like hearing that transition to Open Hearts, where we're getting to like a place of like recognizing the fact that like you're falling, but like you're falling, like you're falling in terms of like where you're going and where your life is heading, but like you're also falling in love, and like you're feeling like saved in that way. I think it's just so just incredible and moving. And so yeah. The next track, Opening Night. This one I think has one of my favorite instrumentals
Yeah.
on the entire project. I love just like how just like shiny it sounds, and I don't know, I love the way that Abel's vocals are also mixed on it when the vocals
Yeah.
come in. Do you have anything you want to I mean lyrically it's really interesting because it really
Mhm.
sets up and begins the portion of the album where we get to like the darkest stuff Abel's ever written.
Yes. Yes.
And so I mean, do you have anything you want to say about it?
I mean, I think something I really haven't touched upon is that the enemy of this album is the crowd. It's the thing he's trying to avoid. He doesn't want to hear the concert screaming. He doesn't want to hear the people screaming his name. He doesn't want anything to do with that. They're constantly in the way, and they get louder and louder and louder throughout this entire
Mm-hmm.
album. And I think that this again just perfectly sets that up. I did not expect this one to have lyrics. I thought this was going to be another like instrumental. So when he actually started singing, I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. Again, it's another one that like I need to go back to more. But I really like
Yeah.
this one a lot.
Yeah, that's totally valid. Yeah, no. No, I think it's just fantastic. The next track, one of the best songs ever made, in my opinion, Reflections Laughing.
Oh my god.
I love
The
this song.
second this started, I was like, this is literally one of my favorite songs he's done. Like the second it
It
started.
I just love just like the somberness of it, but also just like the sadness, like just like how just like sad it is in terms of just like that crushing, just
Yes.
like haunting feeling that it gives you. And I love how like Travis Scott, when he comes in, like the vocals are like, pitched down, but also using some like pitched up vocals and stuff like that. And like Florence Plus Machine's contribution, stuff like that. Like I just think like the way the song just has this like warped like sense to it in terms of like the warping of like a reality, or just like it like I don't know how to describe it, but it like the way that it like warps like the feeling and the sound while also like presenting like the most brutal depiction, like beginnings of like what's really
Yeah.
really going on mentally and emotionally in that moment, I think is really really like it's hard to convey, and
Oh yeah.
I think that it's done just so well, and I just love the production on it also, and I really really love um Travis Scott's feature really
Yeah.
specifically. I really do, because I feel like it really fits what Abel's saying. That's one of the things about the features in general, is I really feel like they have like a good correlation, what's going on, because like Abel's like talking about on the song, how he's having these like moments of this person that he's having this like sort of like, intimate like connection with, and like, but going
Yeah.
through
Feels
his
like a
own,
conversation almost.
yeah, his own kind of like down spiral and stuff like that, and just like these moments in time of like
Mhm.
traveling on like tour, and we even get Travis coming in about talking about his travels and his experience of like a woman exploring like the darkness of those kind of moments in a way, or just like the way that it like like defines you in a certain moment in time. I don't know, I just think that it's really I like songwriting like that. And
Yeah.
so do you have anything you want to say, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I love about this one immediately is just how much it builds. It starts off with Abel, and then you get the Florence and the Machine part, and it's something that's a little bit more like ethereal. And then you get to the Travis Scott part, and that's really when shit gets dark, and it really starts to go down this path that we fully explore more in the next couple songs. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the second I
Yeah.
heard
Well,
the lyrics of this one,
also don't forget the phone call portion of the
yes,
song.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
So.
really like the way he implemented that. I mean, again, the
Mhm.
second I heard the first couple lyrics and just the places the song was going to
Mhm.
go, I was like, this is going to be one of my favorites on the entire album, and I think it's one of
Yeah.
the best songs he's ever done. Like I said, I
I
think this
agree.
these next 6 songs, this is just like, this is his apex. This is everything we've been building up to. And I think that this
Mm-hmm.
is like one of the best examples of that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. And where we start to go, like in terms of like storytelling wise, really on like enjoy the show and like giving
Oh
up
my
on
god.
me is like the darkest moment in Abel's
Ugh.
entire
This is
discography.
where
And
we, yeah,
like
this is really
and
where the
it's
dark
like
shit
it's
comes
hard
in.
to like analyze it because it's like I don't want to seem like I'm like romanticizing the ideas because like it's dark and it's like sad, but like the thing I'll say is like I think it's really, really hard to write songs that like convey like the state of mind when you're going through like a relapse moment or like a sense of like losing like control or like this sort of this like manic moment. And I don't know, I just think the way that especially on Give It Up on Me, like in that first part of it, I think it just really, really got to me and it was really getting to me like emotionally and just like the level of just like that I was feeling inside of me. It's just it's tough to listen to them, you know,
Yeah.
especially you know like that opening part on Giving Up on Me, where you know
Oh yeah.
it's tough. Do you have anything you want to say? I guess specifically about Enjoy the Show first.
It's a really tough song to get through. The thing I was most surprised about though is really just the contribution that Future has in this song. I was not expecting it to be what it was
Hmm.
because I was looking at Genius.com, so I knew that Future was on this song. But then when I started, I was like, "That's Future. That's really cool the way he utilized him." And that's the other thing I will say about these features is that it does not feel like we're just bringing in this artist for a bit. It feels like they have a genuine role to play. And I think that this is one of the better features, utilizations of a features I have seen in a song in a while, because you have Future, someone who's known for like hardcore, like rap lyrics and things like that. And you expect it to, with what Travis Scott just did. But instead, again, it feels almost like this conversation of sorts. And I really like the way it was implemented into this. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is like some of the darkest shit he's done. Again, the way he symbolizes the crowd almost as like this villain of sorts, and he's kind of he's kind of using the crowd as a symbol of death. Again, it's just really, really harrowing.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and Future's contribution to it is incredible.
Yeah.
I think it fits the song really well. Also, I
It
gotta
does.
say the production on this
Oh my
one,
god. Yeah.
amazing, absolutely amazing. And just like samples on this and Giving Up on Me are just like absolutely like fantastic, and like that so really like that final like part of the song with like Abel, really, really it starts to like really like sink in with me like as a listener, just like where we're going right now. And then Giving Up on Me, like the opening, like part where he's like, I've been lying to your faces, I've always been like, wasted, and like,
Oh
like
my
why won't
god.
you just let me die? Like
Yeah.
it's just like, it's really tough, and of course at the end of, enjoy the show where he talks about how he doesn't want to make it past like 34 and he think he's going to pass he didn't think he was going to make it to like 24.
Yeah.
Just like that, like beginning the song with that and then ending it like that and then going to Giving Up on Me, it's just absolutely just like it's unlike anything I've really ever heard before with Abel, and it really, really got to me. But then I really love that like second part with like the piano and like that sunshine part,
Yeah,
and I
it
really
feels
love
like
those
that.
like it's
That's like him like
yeah.
realizing, oh wait, there's still hope.
Yes.
There's still a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yes.
and that voice that like
Yes.
kind of emerges is him like
Mhm.
kind of like, okay, yes, it's things really suck, things are really dark, but there's still a way to turn things around, and I think that's what this is kind of introducing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know. I just really also love when Future comes in with like the few vocals that he has, like it just makes it just feel just so much just more just like profound.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like that moment of just like pure just like I don't even know, just like goneness, I guess. And
Mhm.
just like and like just like losing hope and just like all just like longing that you have for life. It's really, 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 really
Yeah.
tough, and so yeah, And yeah, now the one that I know you really want to talk about, I can't wait to get there.
Oh
What
yeah,
are, what are,
this is
what?
one that
Yeah.
I was just like really into because look, like I said, one of the things I
Mhm.
really love about this album is just how much he is experimenting with different types of styles, different types of music, and I've never heard a song like this from The Weeknd before, and I mean this is exactly the kind of shit that I want to see an artist do on their final album. Take risks, do stuff you haven't done, really just like push yourself. And this is a great example of that. And I feel like what I love so much about this one is that, again, it feels like he's almost in this like trance like state where it's like he's kind of starting to feel this sense of hope. He's starting to remind himself of things to actually look forward to. He can't wait to get back to the things that he cares about, and you really just feel that. And it's one of those songs like puts you in a good mood. And I feel like in an album that's mostly like full of just like darkness and sorrow, it's a really good like antithesis to that. And it's just I don't know, it's one of the ones I've gone back to the most. I really love it a lot. I know you compared a lot to like Tyler the Creator and things like that. I definitely can see that comparison. It's just I really love it. It's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, no, I think it's just absolutely fantastic. Like it was such like a nice surprise to hear a song that like sounds like that
Yeah.
from
Very
from
soulful as
Abel.
well.
Very, very definitely. And I really, really loved like the lyrics too, where like we're beginning to kind of like build back up like the confidence and like the
Yeah.
ego and like this like just like the character, and just like just like joy you feel from like your own accomplishments and stuff like that, and but also like, acknowledging like the hardships that like happened or like obstacles that you went through, because one thing that like I opened up about in the album reaction, and like like it's it's just a part of my life, and so I feel comfortable kind of sharing, especially if like a weekend kind of setting, but like as someone else, as someone who is also a high school dropout, like hearing him kind of like talk about that part specifically, and just just like how just like like tougher it can make you to find your own voice, and feel like just like the way that like you word things or like like act around people. I just feel like it just really really just like I feel it so deeply, and then how it transitions into timeless. I feel like is really really well done,
Yeah.
because now we're fully like bringing back like that like confidence, and and that then and that like ego, and I don't know, I think that it just like I feel it really really heavily. Do you have any thoughts on how like this fits into the album, also timeless and stuff like that?
So I mean, this might be a hot take. Timeless is probably my least favorite song off this album. It's the one I've gone back
That's
to
fine.
the least. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the one song where I'm like, it fits, but I feel like it also could have just been on a Playboy Cardi album. And I felt that since I
Mm-hmm.
first heard the song. I do think it still has those themes of like, building up confidence and things like that, but it's not one I go back to all that often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I the song is growing on me even more the more and more I hear it, honestly. I really 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 like it a lot. I just love like the energy of it. I love like the feel of it, and then I don't
Yeah.
know. I like how it fits in with the album. I mean, I don't think it's one of like my like super duper favorites on it or anything like
Yeah.
that, but like I really 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 quite like it. Now, one song. This one's a really good one. Niagara Falls, Kevin,
Yes.
is so freaking good, dude.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna let you go first on this one. Like what
This
do you
this is
think?
one that grew on me a little bit because I think I told you
Mm-hmm.
this when we were in like our text chat. Like this was one I really
Mm-hmm.
liked, but I was still coming off of just the overwhelming emotions that like baptized in fear to I can't wait to get there really took me on. That like while I enjoyed Niagara Falls, it wasn't one that I was like super intently listening to. I was like, okay, it's a good song, I really
Mm-hmm.
like this a lot. But listening to it again, it's like this is probably one of the more positive songs on this entire album. It's kind of this like love song of sorts, and it really
Mm-hmm.
again it feels like it's him reminding himself of things to that are worth living for. And I think that this is a really great example. I love the reverb that he uses as well. And then oh my god, the
Yeah.
fucking transition from this to Take Me Back to LA. I know we talk about Baptized in Fear and Open Hearts. That's my favorite. This is my favorite transition on the album. Just the way he
That's cool.
seamlessly
Mm-hmm.
goes from that to Take Me Back to LA is
Mm-hmm.
otherworldly, and I just love every segment. It almost feels like a concert. That's like something you'd see at a concert, is the way he's able to do it, the way he uses the reverb to like transition into that, I thought was just really cool. So yeah, it's a
Mhm.
really great one. It's one that the more I listen to, it's kind of like you and Timeless. Like the more I listen to it, the more I really like it. I think it's just another one like I really it's definitely a grower for me. Like it's a great song. It's just one that like I really need to listen to more because I don't feel like I've listened to it as much as the others, but especially because of how much I like the next song we're going to talk about. I really like this one a lot.
Yeah. I love this song. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic. Like those vocals, those like pitched up like vocals, like then like that chorus, like I think are gorgeous. Like I
yeah,
love the lyrics. So it's like, I held I like, like there's like these like memories of like longing and like holding a
yeah,
person, like for until like the dawn and just like these like memories of how different like places are been and like like establishing like memories in terms of like a certain like time and setting. And just like I feel like it's also really, really poignant and powerful to kind of hear Abel go through like a moment of like trying to like escape these like negative feelings he has from like like past lovers and like trying to like help like a past lover of his like now like escape like her current lover and help her kind of like have her own sort of like
yeah,
freedom given back in a way. Of course, like it's of course you can also say like sure, is it messy, sure, but like I think it's like a really like beautiful in a way sentiment though of just like being like trapped in like a relationship that like is like unhealthy for you and like having somebody to like help you like guide you out of that. And I know I just think the way the song just like flows in and fits with the rest of the album I think is just fantastic. And Kevin, take it back to LA, like just to jump into it, like what a fucking masterpiece.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
Here-
I
yeah.
yeah. I'll
Here's the
let you go
thing I'll
first.
say about this
Mhm.
song, and I said this to you, like he's performed
Yeah.
this at concerts. We even saw him perform it at a concert, and every time he's done, I'm like, I like that song. It's pretty good. Hearing it on the actual studio version, it's like this is a fucking amazing song. Like just the way
Yeah.
it builds,
Yeah.
the lyrics, it's kind of this sequel of sorts to Escape from LA, where now he's like appreciating aspects of LA and remembering things that he wasn't before. It's perfect. It feels like this song that like he's worked so hard on, and to see it finally be included on a project that alone is really special, but also to see the way it factors into again just like the general story that we're going on in this album. I think that's really what makes it stick out to me, and it's one of the ones I've gone back to the most. I feel like this
Mhm.
studio version just really heightened my appreciation for this song. I always liked it, but this really just made me realize how much I enjoy this song. I think it's just such a fucking
Mhm.
masterwork, and it's just great to see he was finally able to have a fully realized version on an album and it be
Mhm.
as amazing as it is here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. Um, and so yeah, I by the way, Not Like Us won Song of the Year
Oh, what's
at
it?
the Grammy. And Not
Oh, that's
Like Us won
crazy.
song. Yeah, no, that's what I was looking at. I wanted to quickly see. Fuck
I,
yeah,
I did
bro.
hear this was a really good show overall, which is good.
Yeah, no, it won Record of the Year,
Yeah.
Song of the Year. Wow, that is really, really exciting to see.
Oh wow, what a win for
I'm just trying
Kendrick.
to
Not a great
yeah, no,
day to
I will
be
say
Drake, but I mean, when was it? So
yeah, no, like I just think that's like a exciting that just like a such like a massive cultural moment is being recognized like that. Like that's actually pretty cool.
yeah,
So yeah, so and then
wow.
yeah, no, everything quickly is did you see Lady Gaga said something about trans people
I
during
was gonna
her
send
awards?
that to you. Yeah, yeah, I did
Yeah,
see
that's very cool. I was looking at that quickly just because I wanted to see like updates on that stuff. That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. So,
that.
yeah, now Take Me
Yeah,
Back
on
to
it.
LA is like I remember like I watched that Instagram live like when it happened like 5 years, almost 5 years ago. It's just crazy to think about. And I remember like that being like my
Yeah,
favorite and like it having like that slight like dream pop influence in a way
yes,
to it
yes.
and just like that like perspective and retrospective that you kind of have on things, and reflections that like a certain like style of music like that has
I
and
love the
I
synth.
just
I love the synths.
so pretty. It's so gorgeous.
The da da da
It
da da, especially that.
yeah, absolutely. It's just it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I think this song also is my favorite song on the album from him vocally.
Yeah,
I just love the way the emotion, the
it's
way that like
either
he like
that or
you
the last song
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Just the way he like just expresses himself on this one, and just like the way that like the song is written, being like, like that's why I knew it was like, better by myself, and then be like, I don't like want to be by myself anymore, and like that's just like a beautiful sentiment, for him to have in
Yeah,
that reflection, because a lot of Abel's music has dealt with like the sadness of like feeling like, like I'm better off by myself, especially on Be Behind the Madness. He explores that a lot, for example. And I don't know, I just think it's just such a just like remarkable moment on the album. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add quickly?
no, I mean, like I said, just seeing a fully realized version of the song, I think it just really made me appreciate how much I enjoy it, and it's one I'm going to continue to, love
Hmm.
going back to. What happened?
Beyonce finally fucking won Album of the Year.
Oh my god!
I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this award. Fucking finally.
Yes,
Fucking finally. Finally.
yes.
Oh my god. Fucking finally. Oh, I'm sorry. That is way long overdue. Way long
Oh yeah.
overdue. That I do
Is that the
care
one
about.
that
Fuck
is that the one that
yes.
Taylor Swift presented and they escorted Kanye out? That's what because I heard
Uh,
that happen too.
no, no, it's not that. I just fucking finally. I'm sorry, but fucking finally.
Yes.
Like the disrespect that Beyonce has been shown by the recording Kanye. I know she has a lot of Grammys. I know she's the most Grammys ever, but like with the album of the year stuff, like anyways, I'm not getting into it. I'm just saying Lemonade is like one of the best albums ever. That should have won. Anyways, let's move on.
Oh yeah. Figured.
So Give Me Mercy.
Oh,
Oh my
you want to talk
goodness,
about Michael
dude.
Jackson influence? Like,
Yeah, no, yeah. Shout out to Give Me Mercy, dude. I really, really like this song,
oh,
like a lot.
you skipped Big Sleep.
I thought Give Me Mercy was the song after. Oh, sorry. I am
No,
sorry. I saw Give Me Mercy. I'm thinking about the Beyonce thing, so I'm so sorry. I'm like so happy with the
listen,
Beyonce thing.
I get
Sorry,
it.
sorry.
I get
Big
it.
Sleep. Sorry,
I
sorry.
get
I'm just
it.
shout out to Beyonce.
Very
So yes,
understandable.
no, Big Sleep though. I really, really like a lot. What do you think of the inclusion of having the tour snippet begin the song?
Oh, I think it's great. Again, I think
Mm-hmm.
you kind of see it as like the crowd is something he's like kind of fighting against.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like this is like this is the introduction to like if this was a movie like the epilogue, like the climax of sorts. Like that's what this kind of
Yeah.
feels like. And I think
Yeah.
it's him like he's reflecting on moments in a concert, and then it like shuts down because again he's trying to move
Mm-hmm.
towards like finally reconciling with the thing that he's been trying to not confront. He's finally confronting it.
Yeah. No,
I
absolutely.
thought it worked really
Absolutely.
well. And again, that's a great way of like taking a song that you wanted to release at one point and finding a way to still implement it, but not having to release the full song. I thought that was a really cool way of doing that. Very
Yeah, no,
seamless.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I really, really like the beginning of like because like I might be wrong on this, but I feel like he's like talking to like himself
Yeah.
a lot on that beginning, and then like going into like the big sleep, and like these like really just like existential, just like cold, just like ideas of just like and I don't know, I just think it's fantastic, and like that Jonah Moroder like influence, and like inclusion, I think is just absolutely fantastic, and it absolutely, of course, like the Daft Punk vibes, of course, and I
Yeah.
think it's just fantastic, and I love the videos that we've seen of like them producing all the song together, and so yeah, so now
Yes.
now we can get to Give Mercy. Sorry, I was just so hyped with the Beyonce thing. I just
Uh,
I saw the comment. So yeah,
one of
so
my
I got to Give
absolute
Mercy. Great
yes.
song.
One of my absolute favorites on the album for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It gives like big show stopping, almost feels very
Hmm.
musical theater in the way it's done. Again, like I said,
Yeah.
like a Michael Jackson type influence. Again, I think after we've
Hmm.
had so many depressing songs, this again just feels like a more uplifting one. Him just kind of reaching out and talking about how he wants to finally be given that grace. Like, yes, I've done a lot of bad things, but let's try to put that aside. Give me some mercy. Like
Hmm.
I've done some good things in life, and let's try to focus on that. It's a really good one. I
Yeah.
enjoyed this one a lot.
I agree. I love like the wholefulness of it, and just like and how like religious it gets, and like the
Yeah.
holiness of it that it has, and just like that, like just like that belief and that quite little faith. I think it's just such like a pretty, just like beautiful song. And I know I really, really like it. Quite a bit. We're gonna go a bit kind of faster because I know Kevin needs to leave in a few
Yeah, I need
minutes.
I gotta leave in like at least like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, so
Going
we'll
to the
kind of go
Sundance
through a
Film
bit.
Festival, trying to get to the last movie, and
Yeah, no, so that's why we're kind of wrapping
we
it
have
up a little
literally an
bit quick.
hour before it lets me not watch it.
Yeah, no, so my apologies. I'm kind of like be basic. I did a whole 3 hour video on this album if anyone
Yeah.
wants to watch it. And so yeah, okay, next up, y'all, this song, like I liked a lot of my reaction, but like this one has really gotten to me recently.
Yeah,
Drive,
that's a good one.
unbelievable song,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. Like the chorus on this with like his vocals and the way that it's mixed and it sounds and like that, like it's amazing. It's incredible. Like I love this one, and I love like just like of course like like the lyrics of just like just like let's just keep like driving. The sky might be is falling, but let just be gentle. Like let's just keep like driving. I'm gonna get to this place. Like I have that hope. I think it's just like
It
incredible. I
feels
think it's
almost like he's
fantastic.
driving into heaven. Like that's how you
Yeah,
summarize it. This
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
driving like the heavenly vocals. It's like this is him
yeah.
finally reaching his destination.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of a concept he was talking about Dawn FM of how like he kind of saw Dawn FM as like driving like in a purgatory to like to this like light,
Yeah.
and like playing like a radio station like during that
Yes.
journey, and it reminds me a lot of that. I think a lot about that, and so yeah, I think it's just fantastic. And then finally, I know
Oh,
it's not called Hold Your Heart, it's not called Regular, whatever the song was supposed to be called, but The Abyss with Lana Del Rey. Kevin, I cannot tell you how much I love this song. Just like
that
that
was so
piano
good.
buildup and the sim strikes
Yes.
and chords coming in, and then that big like boom and like the Lana Del Rey inclusion, and like just how like the emotion that she puts into it, and just like I feel it so deeply, and just like exploring like just these like feelings of like a hollowness or like a like unrelieved like tension that like he has within him, but like this like lover that he has that was there for him, like as he's like falling down and deeply, he's halfway down, he's like stringing me, he's like, don't cry, like just like tell me one more time just how much like you want me. And then like lingerie is coming is is a fret, like not a promise, stuff like that. Like I think it's just incredible. What do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, I mean, from the moment I heard like like the piano in that one
Mm-hmm.
teaser and things like that, I was just really itching to figure out what the song was going to be. And the second it played, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see how this utilized. Unfortunately, because I stupidly opened up Twitter, like the second this album came out, I saw Lana Del Rey featured on this track. I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
great, I know one of the features, but then Genius told me all the other ones, so it doesn't even matter. But again, similar to Future, I love the way Lana is utilized on this song. It's so minimalistic. It doesn't feel like the other features that they've done, where it almost
Mm-hmm.
feels like it's both. It could be both their songs. Like she has a very minimal role, but a very impactful one, and I really like the way she's utilized here. And again, I think this is just perfectly wrapping up those. This is him like venturing into the place he never thought he could get. He's in the abyss. He's nearly there, and he just has a couple
Mm-hmm.
other things to reconcile with. And I think that this song is just really well done.
I completely agree with you. I think it's just absolutely fantastic. Next up, one of the very best songs of the entire album. The music
This is
video is
one of the best
also
songs he's ever done,
incredible.
like straight
Yeah,
up.
Red Terror, incredible. It's incredible. And like that like spoken word piece at the end of it is also fantastic. But
Yes.
just like specifically just like reflecting like on like his mother and the sacrifices and the terror,
Yeah.
and just and the pain and sorrow that she went through, growing up, and like getting like pregnant with Abel and like escaping that environment, and like wanting to raise him in terms of like this in like an environment that like he like keep his innocence and like have this like purity to him. And like it makes like the ending of the album when he's like apologizing to like his mom for like losing that, as much as she tried to keep that, even more just it's just so emotional. And the production on this one's also just so like grand, and I just love how it just sounds, and like the way the Sims come in, like the kind of like gasping for life kind of like beginnings of like the way the Sims come in, and then just like the pounding of it all. I just like it. I think it's just like fantastic. And Kevin, I always said the music video for it is absolutely fantastic. Like
I
it
need
it
to watch. I
really,
can only imagine. It's such a
yeah,
psychedelic song that's like right
yeah,
for like a crazy music video. So I can like
yeah.
just hearing the song, I'm like, this is gonna go crazy in the music video, if it's
Hmm.
implemented in the film as well. And also how what is he gonna do with this in a concert? I can't even imagine. I mean, it's such a crazy song.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. And
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the most powerful songs he's ever made, of
Oh,
course,
for
and one of
sure.
the most like vulnerable and intimate in a lot of ways. And then we got two more, Kevin. Without a Warning, this song is absolutely incredible. Like
Yes.
I loved that original version of the crowd that he had like during like the concerts, but this one I really really like, and I think I like the title Without a Warning more than the
I
crowd also.
agree.
I
I
feel like
agree.
I think it fits like the emotional like weight that he's trying to go for, and like I really really like that. Just like I don't know, it just has like a sound and feel that no other Weekend song has quite had. And I feel like like it sets up like the ending of, you know, where it's like they, you know, is there, you know, might not be like a tomorrow, and you know, just talking about like, you know, like these moments where he feels like he's truly able to like use his voice and like with like the crowd and like screaming like his name at him, you know, and like especially at the end of, you know, right here where it says like, you know, call me like the, you know, by the old familiar name, you know, referencing, you know, Abel's Tesfaye. And so I don't know, I just feel like it's just such a just like incredible song. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like this is him like finally like reconciling with the crowd and being able to just kind of like embrace it and not, you know, see it as like this enemy anymore. He's finally like conquered it. And I think I
Yeah.
agree, like the way, like I enjoyed the crowd in the Sao Paulo performance, but the way it's done here, I think is really well done. I think Without a Warning definitely does work in terms of the themes that he's trying to accomplish. I think if it was called The Crowd, honestly, would probably be pretty redundant because we hear the crowd constantly throughout his entire album. I think calling it Without a Warning just kind of fits a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, it perfectly sets up the last track and talking about tomorrow constantly and just again embracing the fact that like the crowd's always going to be there. They're always going to enjoy what I do. I need to just go ahead and embrace it. They like what I do. I just need to go ahead and, you know, just know that the crowd is going to be there. The crowd is not my enemy. The crowd is on my side. They're here to, you know, listen to my music because they love what I do. And I think this is him finally like, you know, recognizing that.
Absolutely. I think it's incredible. And then the very last one, the
Oh my
title
God.
track, it's I mean, it's an incredible moment. And I think lyrically it's obviously his most vulnerable, I feel like, in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. And just and direct in a certain sense of just like sadness, but also just like realization and just like I don't know, enlightenment in a way is like tragic as it is in a lot of ways. I don't know. I think it's just such a powerful end to like the Weekend musically. You know, if this is the end, which it very likely seems like, you know. What do you have to say about it?
I mean, this is how you do a fucking finale. Like generally, I
Yeah.
like when I talk
Yeah.
about the fact that this album is cinema. This is what I'm talking about. Like I can see in my head him
Hmm.
going up to, you know, this afterlife and him finally just like being like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna worry about the lies. I'm not gonna worry about all the past shit that's happened.
Hmm.
I'm finally gonna move forward. I'm ready to embrace the thing that I've said for a while I don't deserve. I deserve heaven. I deserve all the good things that have happened to me. It's just it's so beautiful to listen to. Again, if you look at the story of the Weekend from, you know, from fucking I forgot to High for This
Ha-
all the way
yeah.
to Hurry Up Tomorrow, it feels like this is a completed character arc. This is him finally recognizing like all the shit that I have kept bottled up inside of me is forgivable. All the things that I have done wrong is forgivable. I am a good person and it's okay for me to make these mistakes, and I'm not going to lie about how I feel anymore. It's just it's so good, and Abel's vocals on this are just absolutely
Incredible.
unreal. Some of the best he's ever
Yeah.
done. I mean, this is exactly the kind of shit that I eat up. Again, similar to Give Me Mercy, very musical theater in the way that it's done.
Very.
I absolutely adore this song. I'm listening to it constantly. I've been listening to this for some reason. Almost every time I go on a break at work, when it ends, I listen to this song, and then I come back to work and I'm singing this song, and people are probably like, "What the fuck are you singing?" It's just
That's so real. That's real.
it just really
Hmm.
sticks with you. I just really love this song a lot.
Hmm.
He's always killed it with closing tracks. The best one, right here, of course, best song he's ever done.
It's
Never gonna
Fab my middle name. So yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
love
It's
that
Fab my
song a
middle
lot.
name.
It's the most song that's played from him every single year on my Apple Music replay. But that's a whole other
Yeah.
discussion. But this one is just it's everything that I really would have hoped. And I actually have, I think, a different interpretation of the end of this album. I don't think he's stuck in a time loop. I think the idea is that the Weekend is always going to exist but this version gets to rest. This version doesn't have to suffer anymore, and a new Weeknd is reborn, essentially, I think is kind of the idea of the end when we hear high.
Well, I think you're wrong, honestly, Kevin, because like I think the point is like he's reborn like as like Abel, you know?
Yeah,
Like I think it's more so like that, you know? I think like the Weekend,
like
like
he's
I
separating
think
himself from
yeah, that makes total sense.
But
And so yeah.
this version of the Weeknd's laid to rest. There's always going to be a Weeknd out there, but he's severed himself from Abel.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, that's totally okay. One album I got Terror album written from second to someone else. Yeah, no, that would actually be really, really cool. Actually, that'd be really, really cool. Yeah, I am saying this right now. This last part I think I'll say just because I know Kevin really needs to get going. Is Abel Tesfaye first album? Hey man, if you want to make it like purple themes, like you know, like how this was supposed to be. I mean, more. Hey, like Violet, I'm just saying. So yeah.
We'll be at the concert, so like
Yeah, so yeah. So I love this like rusty orangey ready color, but like it's kind of fire. So yeah. So yeah, no, so thank you to anyone who's watching this. I'm sorry we're kind of rushing it. I just want to really make sure Kevin can go do his Sundance stuff that's ending soon. So yeah, the last year got delayed a little bit, then the Grammys. Yeah, then the Grammy stuff happened, and so it's still we're running a little over time.
I do want to circle back to one thing really quick because I did have somebody comment and I don't want them to think I ignored them. Yes, I will be doing a best and worst movies video very soon. I have a few more movies that I need to watch, but hopefully by the end of this month, you will get a best and worst thing. I do still have to watch I'm Still Here. I do still have to watch All We Imagine Is Light. There's a bunch of other stuff on my list I need to watch, but once those things are done, you will get the best and worst video. So that is coming. It's just going to be, it's going to take a little bit. But the catch-up video should be coming within the next few days. I just have to edit a couple more parts of it, and that should be there. But always, this was a lot of fun. Always enjoy getting to talk about this. It's kind of crazy that this is like the end. Like it's crazy to think about. Like the Weeknd has been such a substantial part of not just your life, but also our friendship. I mean, I would not know of the
massive.
I would not know of the Weeknd if it wasn't for her right here. I wouldn't have the love that I did for him as an artist if it really wasn't for our friendship. And so it's crazy that Hurry Up Tomorrow is like truly the end. But again, I think this is just such an incredible way to go out. We rarely get to see artists have an ending that feels this final, that feels this conclusive, that feels like this is everything they've always wanted to do. And it just makes me really interested to see like where does he really go from here? I've heard people say maybe they think he's going to do like more gospel stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
That would be amazing.
But again, he flirts with so many interesting ideas here that I think that moving forward, anything is really possible. I think that Abel Tesfaye, it's gonna be a whole different sound, it's gonna be a whole different feel, and I'm just really eager to see what that's going to be, but also so eager to see how the movie is going to factor into all. Because I've said it before, and I feel this even more after the album now. Thank God for the movie, because I really do feel like, considering how cinematic this really feels, assuming the movie has most of these songs incorporated, I assume they will. I just really feel like that's going to bring it home in just such a interesting way. The way they're going to wrap all these themes together, the way it's going to tie into everything. I'm so excited to see what he's going to do with all of that, because I think there's just so many interesting ideas here that you can really just showcase visually in a way that you can't in the album. And I'm excited to see if the ideas in my head are put to paper in the way that I expect them to. And if they're done on the level that this album is, my God, are we in for such a wild, epic ride of a film. And I can't wait to see how that turns out. But as an album, I mean, it's as perfect as it really gets, in my opinion. I think that, again, this is really just him fleshing out all these concepts that he has before, but amplifying it to a level that he hasn't really been able to, reconciling with things that he hasn't been able to, even stuff like, talking about his father, talking about his mother. Like, we haven't really seen those things discussed to the degree they are here. And it really just feels like, this is his space to, all these inner demons that he's been wrestling with. He can finally like put them to rest. And by doing that, the Weeknd doesn't need to exist anymore. He's put these things to rest, and now he can move forward and kind of begin again. And I'm just really excited to see how he begins again, what else he really has in store. It really is true. We don't know what's in store, just like Hyper this says. And I'm excited to see, what's in store moving forward.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I get everything aside. I guess let's see you at the cinemas, and I'll see you at Gillette Stadium quite soon, Kevin. So
Yes.
so that's gonna
Literally
be
back to back
fun.
too, kind of crazy.
It's actually really crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just want to say, shots. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing to the channel.
Of course.
And just thank you for supporting the content. I really, really appreciate it. And then, hey, that's valid. It's catchy as hell, dude. It's catchy. So it's a great one. So yeah. So with that, thank you all for watching. This was really fun to do. And I'll see you for any future live streams. I'm not really sure exactly what we're gonna, because our coverage on the movie and the tour we'll do like in person probably together. Like in like a video that we'll edit. So we'll see about any live streams.
We
but
could do
for
like
now,
a Q&A for like Hurry Up Tomorrow if we want to do like a spoiler one or something.
that's a great idea. That's a great idea. We should do that. So yeah. So that is that. So we'll see y'all for that, and take care. Everybody get rest. A good night, and we'll see y'all later. Alrighty, bye everybody.
All right, see you guys. Bye.